How's everybody doing? This is the review guy. This is my first ever review video, so I'll tell you a little about how I'm going to do things on this channel. I'm primarily going to review home releases like DVD, Blu-ray, and particularly collectible box sets. There's an abundance of reviews of the movies and TV shows, video games themselves all over the internet. So I'm only going to briefly cover the actual content, with a basic outline of the plot, characters, what I think of the finished product, without getting too into detail. As you got so many websites, IMDb, Metacritic, Rotten Tomatoes, all that. So there's really no need for me to review the actual product, getting too in-depth. My primary goal with this channel is to provide the consumer with an in-depth look at home releases. Everything from picture and sound quality to bonus features, to the packaging and artwork of the cases and box sets itself. I find that the stock photos posted on Amazon or Best Buy or any other retail site don't show nearly enough detail. And it's nice to know what's inside the box itself, the packaging itself. If it's poorly or well constructed, whether you're getting good artwork and everything with that, basically, everything that you don't see on Amazon that you want to know what's inside the box, if it's put together well. I know I'm starting to repeat myself, but it's just a basic outline of what I'm going to do here. Now that we got all that out of the way, I begin by reviewing the complete first season of HBO's drama series True Detective on Blu-ray. Now, the show itself is excellent. It's a story of two detectives from the Louisiana Criminal Investigation Division, homicide detectives, played by Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. And it's told in a series of flashbacks. The two of them are being interviewed separately, asked about a case of a hunt for a serial killer back in 1995, that they had solved, because there's more murders coming up in present day 2012, which when it takes place in, that are very similar in aspect, the occult nature of the case in 1995. So they're being interviewed about it. And I'm not going to get too into depth about it because I don't want to spoil anything. But the acting is incredible, particularly the two of them, Woody Harrelson and especially Matthew McConaughey, who I think should get the Emmy for Best Actor for his role as Rustin Cole. And the directing is excellent, particularly in the fourth episode, which has what I think is probably the best tracking shot of any film or show I've ever seen. 6 straight minutes, one continuous shot through an urban neighborhood, weaving in and out of houses, with gunfire going everywhere. It was all done in one continuous shot from one camera, no cuts or anything. It was done really well. I'm not going to get too into depth about it, so I'll start talking about the actual set itself. It's put together in a nice, fairly thick hardboard casing. You have a sleeve that comes out. It's not a cheap, thin cardboard. It's done pretty thick, it's pretty high quality. Inside you have your sleeve. It has the artwork from the show on separate panels. And then you have the discs themselves inside. You have an episode listing on the left. You have your 3 discs. Let me take the discs out to show the artwork behind the plastic. This is one of the show's taglines, "Man is the cruelest animal." And you have artwork on the back as well. It's done very nicely. And this is personally the way I like to have them. Because lately, the newest trend among DVD or Blu-ray releases from all these studios, particularly HBO, is instead of having the plastic snap casing like you have here, your standard casing like, most people are used to, they're starting to do a cardboard sleeve deal where the discs sliding in and out of these little sleeves with slick cardboard, and the discs scratch really easily. This way you get them much better protected, and it doesn't have that cheap feel to it like you get with those with the sleeves. It all fits there in the case. You got your reviews in the back, your basic stock description of the program, bonus features, and everything. All right. Now, the release itself is very good. You know, your picture quality and sound quality is what you're going to expect from Blu-ray. The picture is very crisp, you know, extremely clear. It's as good as you're going to get, especially from a newer release. The sound quality is the same. The bonus features, you got a bunch of bonus features. You got it's about 15 minutes of making of True Detective, behind the scenes interviews with cast and crew, with some unseen footage. You got up close with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, exclusive interviews with the two of them, talking about several different scenes they did. I think that was maybe like 8 minutes. I forgot all those. You have a conversation with the show's creator Nick Pizzolatto and music coordinator T-Bone Burnett. They briefly talk about the show and about, you know, his selections of music and everything. And then what you have for each individual episode, you have an Inside the Episode featurette, which is about 4 or 5 minutes each, maybe a little longer for some of them. So for the show's 8 episodes, so you get like another 40, 45 minutes of insight just into each of those individual episodes, on top of the 15, 16-minute making of featurette. There's 2 audio commentaries with Nick Pizzolatto, the show's creator, and music coordinator T-Bone Burnett, as well as executive producer Scott Stevens. And then you have some deleted scenes. Nothing really crazy in particular, but, you know, for a season release, it's about as good as you're going to get. You usually don't get that much bonus features for stuff, particularly like HBO. You know, when they started releasing DVD box sets of Sopranos and stuff, and, you know, Oz years ago, they were pretty much bone dry for bonus features. They've gotten a lot better over the years. I like to do a 4-star rating system. The show itself, I highly recommend if you're into drama, anything that's dark. It has, you know, like a cult or, you know, sort of, you know, I don't know what you want to call it, devil worship type undertones or overtones to it, however you want to word it. It's very good. Matthew McConaughey's acting is excellent. You know, he's got a very dark outlook on life. And a lot of stuff that he says in the show, even though it's fiction, a lot of the stuff you think about, it's kind of true. As I said before, the show itself is excellent. I give it 4 out of 4 stars for this first season. Now, the only thing I don't like, and you know, we'll see how it goes in the future, but this show was done similar to American Horror Story, where it's an anthology series where each season is going to be an individual story upon itself. It's not going to continue on to another season. So they're going to have a different cast for each season. Although Matthew McConaughey has said that he's willing to come back to work on the show again, which I would really like to see because he was excellent. And like I said, the show itself is excellent. The directing, the writing, the dialogue, you know, the chemistry between McConaughey and Harrelson, who were both really good friends in real life. It really, you know, it's really good on the show. You could tell. I highly recommend it. The packaging itself, I'd give it 3.5 out of 4. You know, the whole Blu-ray collection itself, you know, nothing really amazing. It's really good, but I wouldn't make it, you know, give it a 4 out of 4. You know, some of the bonus features are a little lacking. There could have been more, but, you know, overall it's a very good release. I highly recommend it if you're a big fan of the show. I know everybody's getting into the whole streaming and digital copy trend, which is something that I'm not a big fan of. I like to have a physical copy of something. You know, because especially when you're streaming stuff and whatnot, you know, it depends on how good your internet connection is. If it drops out for a second, you know, you're going to start buffering, and that shit's a pain in the ass. And then, as well as the fact with the whole digital copy craze, it's just getting you to end up buying more hard drive space to store everything. I like to have a physical copy, you know, but I highly recommend it, and I'll be doing more reviews. This is definitely one of the better season releases I think I've seen because, like I said, you know, I'll be reviewing stuff like, for instance, House of Cards, where they're just bone dry. You get, like, nothing with it. But I'll be back with more videos. Thanks for watching.